Hello, hi, Patty. I was like, Evan. I don't. Patty, yay! So good to see you. Let me pause the recording. Also, if you are inspired to make a donation, you're welcome to. They have a button on their website, and all the classes are free, and then also uploaded to YouTube. But your faces won't be on there, so don't worry about that. So you can watch them anytime, and there's lots of teachers with lots of options, so you can see the class schedule. The easiest way to find out about the classes and to get the link is to go to their Facebook page, because I think you can actually copy and paste from there, or put your email in at the bottom here, and I will, before my classes the night before, I will email you the link if that's helpful. Or last option, promise. The best thing also I forgot is to go to the Ease Yoga website, subscribe, and then they send out the emails so that you can get the link. So just find a comfortable seat for right this minute, and we'll all just take a nice deep breath in together. If you want to rise the arms up and give yourself a stretch, feel free to do that, and then exhale, bring the hands down to the sides. Take another nice deep inhale through the nose and just let it out through the mouth. Yeah, go ahead and take another one. Inhale through the nose. Doesn't matter how loud you are. No one can hear you. Just exhale and let it out. And today's Earth Day, and I'm pretty sure, I think it is. I didn't check this morning though. So I cut some flowers this morning and brought them in. So I highly recommend that you do that maybe at some point in your day, because it's really nice to have them inside and put on your night table or in the kitchen. I like to start everybody on their backs typically. So we're going to move from seated onto your backs to do a little moving into some stillness. So feel free to make yourself comfortable. I'll show you a couple ways. You can use the bolster here underneath of your knees. Well, this is a pillow, obviously, but I'm using it as a bolster. It's kind of a nice little size. I might even turn it on its side today. If you have a bolster, feel free to use that, or roll up a towel. It's just nice to have that support underneath of your knees so that as you come down onto your backs, nice and slow, having the knees and the hips just a little bit higher than the back helps to support your lower back. So when we're completely flat, sometimes that's just not comfortable for people. It's not comfortable for me sometimes just to be completely flat on my back. So you can also, the second option is to take the feet, pinky toes towards the outer edges of the mat. Your knees are wide, and then you can just let the knees fall towards each other and rest your hands on your belly. So try one of those two options. And once you're there, take your arms so they're a little ways away from the body and the palms just floating up towards the ceiling. You'll notice a little more opening through the collarbone. And wiggle, do any fidgeting that you need to do. Just because we lie down doesn't mean you're automatically relaxed. It takes it's practice. Maybe again, take a breath in through the nose and let it out through the mouth as your body's in a different orientation. Noticing that small whiff of air that comes in through the nose and out through the nose. So now we'll start breathing in through the nose and out through the nose if that's okay and comfortable for you. And noticing that little whiff of air, it's a cool breath in and it's a warm breath that comes out. And that sometimes can be a place to go if you find yourself wandering off into what you were doing or something you're doing later. Just try to keep bringing yourself back to the breath. Maybe awareness a little bit on your inhalation. Maybe there's a fullness that you feel in your inhalation. It's like a growing inhalation. And then when you're exhaling, it feels like a hug. It's just sort of an ah sensation in the exhalation. The body softens. There's an extension, expansion with the exhalation and the inhalation. And then just take a moment you can keep that awareness on the breath, but also just checking in with your physical body and just noticing what your energy level is. Any particular areas you feel any tension, imagine just directing your breath to those areas to help open up, make a little bit more space, release the tension. If you haven't already, I should have said this before, is closing your eyes can really help bring you a little bit more inward and help you become a little more aware, more inquiring, to check in with yourself. And yoga is an embodied meditative practice, encouraging an inner experience by the attention that we pay in our movements. The attention we pay in the movement, not necessarily the shape of the pose. Just here, for example, there's different ways of lying down that make us comfortable. And in live classes, in-person classes, you can see that everybody has a different shape. And that's called letting the yoga meet you where you are today. Let's deepen the breath a little bit. So maybe placing your hand on your belly, your right hand on your belly, and your left hand on your heart. If that's not comfortable, it's fine to just leave the hands where they are. Take a nice deep inhale through the nose and let it out through the mouth. And the next time that you inhale, we're going to count the inhalation just to help you expand your inhalation. So 1 into the belly, 2 coming up through the rib cage, 3 into the chest. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Again, inhale, feel that belly rise up towards the palm for 1, 2, in through the diaphragm, rib cage, into the chest for 3, exhale, 3, 2, 1. So continue at your own pace. It may be shorter, it may be longer. Try not to over effort. Just try to move with your breath almost like it's an ocean wave. Just like we practice or we exercise our muscles, just imagine that you're bringing more fullness and expansion to your breath. And try not to over effort. This time as you exhale, really notice how it feels when you exhale. It should feel like an ah sensation. If you're not forcing the exhalation, you're just letting it come out naturally and surrendering into that exhalation. Just imagine that you're an observer of the breath. And then coming back to your natural breathing rhythm, soften through the face, and maybe notice any physical sensations. Yoga is very subtle, but it's profound over a long period of time. So just like anything else, it's a practice. The more we do it, the more comfortable it becomes. And then placing your left hand on your heart, your right hand on top. Take a little breath in and a little breath out. And then just reflect on something that you're grateful for at this moment. And maybe a little extra gratitude for Mother Earth, for nature, and all that. I'm sure that you've been out for walks and you've seen beautiful flowers, beautiful trees, beautiful streams, whatever it is. But just a little gratitude for having that in your life. And then keep your eyes closed, but just reach the arms up over the top of the head, maybe stretch through the feet, just lengthen through the legs and the fingertips. And then make sure you're breathing, inhaling, exhaling as you do that. And you can start to slither a little bit. So as you reach back with that right arm, stretch through that right leg. And then bend into the right elbow, switch, press through the left leg, reach through the right, or excuse me, left fingertips, and just go back and forth. You can even kind of slide on your shoulder blades a little bit if you want to make it a little bit more dynamic. You can also point the toe if you want to make it more dynamic, or switch it up. There's no right or wrong way to do this pose. It's just a matter of kind of waking yourself up and pumping that lymphatic system. Lots of lymph nodes underneath the arm, neck, and our groin, and keep us healthy. We need to keep the lymph system moving. Good, and then reach back with your fingers, maybe hover the palms, and then point the toes, so super, super active, and then rotate your shoulders so that your palms are facing in towards you. Maybe lengthen the back of the head by lifting up the head slightly, setting it down, and then flex through your feet. Imagine that you're in Tadasana pose, mountain pose here, so you can feel that you're rooting down or through the feet, and that you're reaching, and then pull the shoulders into the sockets so that you have some more space between the ears and the shoulders. And then you can relax the hands down, bend the elbows, slide your hands down to the sides, relax your feet. And we'll take Tadasana with our hands to our sides, so the palms are facing in. You can reach through the fingertips. Maybe the arms are hovering. If you want to relax the arms, that's fine. And then flex through the feet. Imagine fingertips are going down towards the feet. And lift your head slightly, a little tuck of the chin, and then lift the chin a little bit, lengthen the back of the neck and the crown of the head. Take one more inhale and exhale here, and then just let everything go. Yeah, and then walk the feet a little wider, not quite towards the edge, but almost. And then just roll the feet in towards each other and then out and away. So you can do this really lightly. Don't have to force it, just notice how that feels. And then lift your right hip up and kind of draw it over towards the left, and then let it fall. And then the other side, left, goes over towards the right and let it fall. Your arms are relaxed to the sides. One more time each side, and then let it go. Good. And then walk your feet a little bit closer. Lift up your hips. Draw your hips towards your heels and feel a little bit more length through the spine. Try that one more time. So lift your hips up just enough so that they're off the ground, not too high. I like to take my thumbs right here to my hip bones, and then just like I'm pushing them not down but towards my heels, and then lower down. If your chin feels tucked, just lift your head and lift the chin away. Take an inhale here, exhale, and then you're going to take your right leg up. You can hold underneath of the thigh here, or you can hold by the shin, it doesn't matter. First, actually, let's massage the leg first. So imagine that you're using your finger pads, and you're going, and your thumbs are going to the sides, not on your shin, but the sides of your shin, and your fingertips are in the back, and you're using some friction so that you can feel a nice massage and circulation kind of warming up. And if you want to add pointing and flexing, you can do that. If you want more into the hamstring, then you can try straightening the leg. This is like an extra added bonus. So if you're giving your leg a hamstring stretch, having the warmth of the circulation is like bonus points. Good. And then relax that leg. Take the foot down first, slide it long. Let the left leg float long, and then just notice if one leg feels different than the other. So that's really where the yoga is when we can notice that things are happening, even if they're subtle, and then switch to the other leg. So feet are on the floor first. You're going to take the left leg up if you haven't already, and then bend just a lot into the knee so that you can get to the leg. Some people even like to get into the foot. Feel free to do that. It's free massage. Just make sure you're not going on the shin with your thumbs. Relax your head, maybe shake it back and forth a little bit. And then you can always add the point and flex. Or you can add the length and flexing through the foot to feel a hamstring more. Totally up to you. And then relax the shoulders, take that leg down. Both legs come long and a little bit wider than your hips. Take the arms to the sides, take a breath in, let it out, and then start to take some angel wings. Remember that in the snow? So you can, if you have room, I don't really have the, well, I guess I do. Go ahead and take the feet wide and let the arms come down to the sides. Try not to make them perfect. Just let your arms flow. It's a little difficult for me with my feet, so I'm just going to do the arms. And see how that feels on your shoulder. It might feel nice to get a stretch over the top of the head, or just let them be soft. Back of the palms, back of the wrists are relaxed. And then come back to the center. Draw the knees in towards the chest. A couple options here. You can hold underneath the thighs and then just draw the thighs a little closer in. Or you can hug in front of the shins and draw the knees in a little closer. If it doesn't feel comfortable right here in your hip crease, then don't squeeze in so far. So again, it's not about the pose, it's about the shape that feels best for you. And then relax the elbows, hang out there for a minute. And then we're gonna inhale, our arms up over the top of the head. You're gonna reach your legs up, but keep a big bend in the knee so that you can support your lower back. You wanna make it more energetic, you can flex or point the toes as you reach over the top of the head. And then we're gonna inhale, again, bringing the knees in. So behind the thighs, just hold on there or squeeze them in. Inhale, reach, arms over the top of the head, legs come up. They can float or you can be more active. Just pull your, engage your core if you're gonna be more active. Exhale in. Inhale up. Exhale in. Feel your belly button sort of pulling in, maybe towards the back of the spine as you feel that exhalation. Last time, inhale and exhale. Good. Take the feet down nice and slow. Take the feet, again, pinky toe towards the outer edges. Walk the feet a little ways away and you can change it once you get going. You can make the feet long, put them farther away or closer in. Take the arms to the sides. If you have any, if your back is feeling a little twingy today, or if you have any back challenges most of the time, then keep your hands to the sides. And you're just gonna take the right leg, let it fall to the side, left will follow, and then come through the center. Let the left knee and then the right knee. Try not to go into your fullest range. So maybe you can go all the way over, take this big stretch, but just start for the sake of your back. Just start kind of slow, letting your hips know what's happening. You can eventually, this is just an option, but you can eventually take your arms out to a T. You get a little bit more here on the side body. And then your choice, you can take it into more of a range, but just keep checking in with your lower back. Try not to push your lower back in towards the mat. Just keep that neutral spine, which we all have this little natural curve here. So you should be able to put your hand in there so that you can feel that space. And then lastly, you can add the head rolling in the opposite direction of the knees. A little massage for the head. It starts to feel really nice on this whole side body. Gets all the way down. It's a little bit even into the IT band, definitely into the quad. So take a few more either side. You're inhaling as your knees come to the center. You're exhaling as you rotate to the side. Take your time. Inhale and exhale. Yeah, and then if you want to stay on one side and take a twist, feel free to do that now. Just be mindful of your lower back and your hips. If you do have a prop, like if you had something underneath of your knees before, you can also, or a block handy, just put it to the side wherever you're gonna go, and it sort of brings the ground up to you, or you can even stick it in between your knees and then take that twist. If you don't want to take the twist, if that's not feeling good to you, that's perfectly fine. Just take the feet, exactly, keep them right where they are, and drop the knees towards each other for a little constructive rest pose. And check back in with your breath. So if this is new to you, all of these poses or yoga in general, then you might find that you end up holding your breath, and you want to kind of check in and make sure that you're using your breath when you take the movements. All right, one more deep breath in wherever you are. Exhale out. And then coming back to the center. Wherever you are, stretch your legs long. Take one more nice, deep, long stretch. Arms can go over the top of the head if you want to. And then we're going to come up to sitting. So best thing to do is to bring your knees in towards the chest, roll over to one side. Use your elbow and your palm to bring you up nice and slow. And here, again, if you have a towel or blanket or bolster or something, it is kind of nice to sit up on something. So you can use the towel, like I said, or a blanket or the bolster. And once you come, we're gonna take, it's called Sukhasana or easy pose, which is kind of a crazy name for it, because it takes a long time for it to get easy. And so you're gonna bring cross-legged pose here. The other option is to take your legs long. If you're not feeling that today, feel free to just take the legs long. And come maybe a little closer towards the edge of whatever it is that you're sitting on. And then just rock a little side to side. And try to see how loose, how much ease you can actually give to your body. And then we'll start to notice the spine, finding your neutral spine. Maybe you have to tilt the pelvis back and forth a few times to notice that you have that curve back there and that it feels comfortable. The pelvis is in its spot. If you're kind of trying too hard to be stacked or something like that, just keep doing the pelvic tilts and find where you're like, okay, this feels good. Shoulders are usually over the hips. Like I'm a little lopsided here. And then we're going to inhale, take the arms up over the top of the head. Exhale, bring the hands down. The other trick is that you can lift the flesh and you can pull the flesh back behind you, and it kind of creates a wider seat. This is like the only time that I guess we want a wider seat. It's almost like you have a nicer platform. All right, take a nice deep breath in through the nose again. Close your eyes, exhale through the mouth. See if that helped you relax your shoulders slightly. And then we're going to take the arms out to the sides. You're going to stretch through the arms and the fingertips. You can even take a look and make sure you're not holding down here. This is a little harder on your shoulders. And reach, like you're starting here and you're reaching out underneath the arm all the way to the wrist through the fingers. Pretty active. Feel free to come down at any time. We're going to just do some circles with our arms. This is kind of old school from one of my very first teachers, Olivia Sheldon. Some of you know her. And then circle back. Yeah. And then flip the palms up. Should feel really good, especially if you've been on the computer a lot or you've been cooking a lot. It should feel good to stretch, especially through here. And then flip the palms down. Try to make space between the ears and the shoulders. Drop the shoulders. And again, you're at home. You can do whatever you want if you want to bring those arms down. Good. And then you're going to flex into the palms as though you're trying to touch either side. A lot going through the wrists. If you feel that too much in the neck, try to relax the neck by just moving it back and forth, up and down, side to side. Take a deep breath in, push, soften through the palms, make a fist, roll the wrists around. We're almost done. And then go the other direction. Good. Think about pulling your core in a little bit, engaging a little bit there, and you're rooting down. And then bend the elbows to bring the arms down. Yeah. Okay, a lot on the arms there. Inhale, lift. This time you reach up with the right arm. The left hand is to the side. And then just take a little side bend. And then come back up. Try not to go too far over yet. We'll keep moving. And up. Inhale. You can see my fingertips are just kind of flowing back and forth. If you want to be more energetic, you can try to reach and make that arm extended a little bit more. Good. And then bend the elbow, bring the arm down nice and slow. Take an inhale, exhale, reach up on your next inhale with the left arm. Shake your head no to relax the neck, yes and no. Fingertips are to the side, reach, and then just gently, I want you to feel it from here. Like imagine that it's starting from here. It's not your fingers, it's nothing to do with the fingers. This is where you're starting to grow. And that's what's helping you in your side bend. Exhale, come up. Inhale. So imagine that you're going to inhale, and then that exhale is, and your side obliques. That's what you're stretching. That's what's doing the work, and that's what's where you want to use your exhalation to release a little there. And then bend the elbow, come down. Good, tuck the chin towards the chest, and then we'll roll the head a little side to side, and we'll roll into the shoulders. But go ahead and stretch the legs out. We'll switch the legs out. You can shake out the legs and point and flex the toes, feet. Gosh, I took my toe polish off. Ooh, scary. And then switch to the other side. Put the other leg in the front. Rock a little side to side. Again, just lift the flesh. And then see if you've made a little bit more comfortable seat. Pelvic tilt back and forth a little bit. Really, I think I'm tighter on this side. You can tell. It's interesting watching in there. Take a breath in and exhale out. Good. So this time we're going to take our right arm, and you're just going to circle it around. So we're going to stretch this way a little bit. So there's a little rotation here. So you're going to feel it from here. So it's not really about the arm and where the arm goes. It's really how you're feeling it. So you can even just do this a few times and not use the arm. Just put your palm here and rotate a couple times. If you want to add the arm, you're going to swoop the arm over, flip the palm, so then you can rotate that shoulder in a comfortable way. So palm faces in, and then you're going to flip as you feel it necessary, right? Inhale. You can even take your eye gaze to your palm and follow it around. It's actually really good for your vestibular system, your equilibrium. It's not exactly fun, and sometimes it can make you feel a little dizzy or nauseous. So if that happens, don't do it anymore. Take a breath in, exhale out, and we'll switch to the other side. So if you want to start here and just rotate. So I'm not going this way, I'm just a little rotating kind of towards the knee. Good. Good for the kidneys. All right, if you want to do the arm, and notice how different it feels on this side maybe. Is it the same, or do you feel like, oh, I had more rotation when I was doing it the other way? Or, oh, this feels so much better than the other side. Kind of notice. If you want to close your eyes, feel free to do that. Inhaling all the way around. Inhale, and then you're exhaling as you're coming down. Last time. Inhale and exhale and relax. And now you can open up those legs, and then let's massage the leg again. After sitting sometimes with your legs crossed in Sukhasana, your knees might stiffen up a little bit, and then point and flex. And then bring your feet to come off of your blanket or your prop, your bolster. And then take your hands either to the sides or behind you with the fingers facing behind you. It's up to you. I find a little bit this way, I get a little bit locked up in here. This flesh gets a little stuck together. So I like to widen my hands this way. All right, and then you're just gonna inhale and exhale. It's almost like a little cat-cow pose here. You're letting your chest rise up towards the ceiling or ahead of you. And then exhale, maybe a little rounding and scooping. Good. All right, and then you're gonna widen the feet, and you're gonna drop the right knee in, just like we did before, a little windshield wiper. You're not gonna get as big a range being here, but just let it go, and then let it go out to the side, and then back in, out to the side. Try not to be just putting all your weight on your wrists. Keep yourself engaged, right? So you don't have to be stiff to be engaged, to use your whole body. Good. And then you're gonna slide the soles of the feet together. So you can keep your feet out and away and hold underneath of the thighs here. And stay and breathe. Let's take 8 nice deep breaths. Or you can continue to walk the feet a little closer in. and holding underneath the thighs or the shins. Or the last option is to bring them in closer. So just notice how your inner thighs feel. It's a little stretch of the inner thighs, but you don't want to force it. Feeling, no forcing. Last option, wherever you are, is you can fold forward, but try not to round here. Try to keep your chest lifted nice and high, so you're folding from the crease of your hips forward, as opposed to bringing your head down. I'm just gonna hang out here. And you're inhaling and you are growing with your inhalation. And as you exhale, you're creating extension and expansion. All right, and then you can undo the feet, make your legs long again. Going to flex a little bit, shake out the legs, and then we'll take a little hip opener here. So there's lots of different ways, not lots, but there's a few different ways to do this. So I'll walk you through the first way is to lift up your right foot, and you're going to take your ankle and you're just going to put it outside, find a little fleshy part here, not on the kneecap, okay? And if you have your ankle on top of your thigh bone, you're not going to want to stay very long. So just make sure that the ankle bone is not digging. Stay right here, and you can hold underneath the foot, and you can hold here. If you do have a block, you can always, or a book, or even a pillow, you can put it underneath and bring this leg up to you a little bit. So this is sort of tending to be the earth coming up to you, and that can help as well. You should be feeling it on your right, this way so you can see me, your right hip flexor here. That's what we're going for. So that's option number one. Option number two is take your hands to the sides, start to put your heel, slide your heel a little closer towards you, and this knee rotate out a little bit. I'm barely touching my knee, and I typically don't even use this to touch my knee at all, but you can just stay here and then just rotate and then try a little pressure on them. And I'm not even on the kneecap, I'm right here on the thigh. Again, try not to sink into your joints, and then obviously you can keep going, and you just don't want to start to round and curl and push the weight back if your knee comes too close, right? So you want to be able to keep your chest nice and high, and you want to relax the shoulders. And then wherever you are, wherever you decided to stay, one more nice deep breath in, exhale out. And then we'll switch to the other side. So bring your legs long. Maybe just take a moment and notice if one side feels a little different. Take an inhale, and then slide that foot closer. Hold onto the foot and the knee. You can also even stay here. That's actually really nice too. Yeah, if your hips are really tight and either one of those options you weren't feeling, then you just hold here and kind of rock. Otherwise, you're going to take the foot, come this way, and this is my ankle. This is the other side, and it's way over here. All right, and then stay here and breathe. Use your block on the other side if you used it before. Next option is to, with your hands here or behind you, slide the foot. Just kind of see how it feels. And I didn't say this on the other side, but you can also flex into this foot, the top foot here, and it makes a big difference, or it can make a big difference on how you feel it over here. Just doesn't matter how far in this leg comes, so don't compromise your chest lifting, being able to relax your shoulders, and you can also kind of move a little if you want to. So take 3 more breaths wherever you are. Inhale deeply, exhale completely. And then release nice and slow. And we're going to roll to our hands and knees. Everybody still alive over there? The hip thing? You see Patty like, I'm all over that. All right, then come over onto your hands and knees. And once you get to your hands and knees, have your shoulders over your shoulders over your wrists. Put me back in speaker view. And knees underneath your hips. And then your feet are just down, tops of the feet are curled either way, whichever is more comfortable for you. And then just bump your hips to the right and then to the left. Maybe just let your head relax and kind of shake your head no, shake your head yes. Just feel kind of light here. And then you're going to inhale, walk your hands a little bit further so you have your hands at a diagonal, kind of like you would in a downward facing dog. And then you're going to shift the weight forward, maybe drop the hips, and then shift the weight back, stretching the back. Inhale, doesn't matter how far down you go. You can just move here. Try to keep your arms, the energy in your arms lifted as opposed to coming down. You probably could do this on your forearms too if you wanted to try. You can go back further and you can let go more. Try one more time each way. And then we're going to circle the hips. So maybe your hands move a tiny bit wider and maybe your knees widen a little bit, and you're going to circle. Imagine that you're taking your right glute back towards the right heel and then over to the left. Just let your head hang. This is a really organic move. There's no right or wrong way to do this. And circle around. You can keep the circles up towards the ceiling, or you can go back towards the heels and circle around. Bend the knees. This gets into the whole body. And the more loose you are, the more ease you allow in your body, the more blissful that feels. And I wish I didn't have you all on mute so I could hear you. When I teach the Together We Bake ladies, they are like, oh, I love this. Oh, this is so good. Very vocal about it. So I know it does feel good. All right, circle in the other direction. If you started to the right, take it over to the left and then circle around that way. There's a particular place when you're circling that you're like, oh, wow, that feels really good. Then stay in that place and give it a few extra little circles. You know, you don't have to do more on one side less on one side than the other. The point is to feel better. So if it feels good, then just continue on that side a little bit longer or in that spot. Good, and then come back to the center, and we're going to move into either child's pose or puppy pose. So puppy pose is coming onto your forearms. Your elbows are right underneath of your shoulders, and sometimes I'll take my hands this way, just take my hands to the crease, and that tells me they're right where they're supposed to be. If I'm out here, I can't reach. All right, so you might try that. And then puppy pose, the hips stay high. And then you can stay here and lengthen a little bit, go back and forth, or you can walk the hands in front of you to stretch through the shoulders more and release the forehead down. So that's one option to play around with, or open up the knees, bring the soles of the toes together, come back into extended child's. If you want to try extended child's and you're like, I'm not sure, my hips are really up for that yet, take your bolster, your towel, your blanket, stick it right underneath so that you have something to take up that space and help you move into that pose a little bit more gently. But puppy pose is awesome too. So take your pick. Couple more breath, inhale, exhale, checking back in with your breath and that sensation of your exhale. And then sliding back up, take your time. Good. And then we're going to take a little thread here, again, to get a little bit more rotation through our torso and it's going to wring out the toxins a little bit. So I'm going to put this clip in real quick. So come back to your hands and knees where you have your neutral table. So check and make sure your feet aren't in touching each other and that your wrists are in line with your shoulders so that you can keep your bones stacked. That's the purpose, so that you have a little bit, a strong foundation. All right, and then we're going to take your left hand and you're just going to take your fingers to your ear. And you're going to bring the elbow in and out. Doesn't matter how far it goes. And out. In and out. If you want to start to take a little bit more rotation with the elbow, a little more opening. Good. And then come down. And then one thing about your hands and your fingers, so I don't know about you, but definitely have some wrist sensitivity going on. So take your fingers, tent your fingers, and then start sliding them down to connect with the mat. So then you land on the mound of your fingers right below your knuckles, and then start to place the palms down and push a little bit forward. Maybe even squeeze through the fingertips a tiny bit so you have like a little bit of space. It sounds more complicated than it really is. Just play around with shifting into the whole hand is the purpose, so that you're not just sinking into the wrists, okay? So tent the fingers, start to slide the fingers right where they are, but landing on the fingers and the pads of the fingers, and then slowly into the wrists as you're pushing forward slightly, so you're not on the wrists. All right, now you're going to take the left side. So you're going to lift up the left hand, take the fingertips to the ear, and then just take that elbow up and down, up and down, up and down. And then maybe a little bit more rotation. Just taking your eye gaze maybe just to the right side of the mat. Last time. Bring your hands down. Come to your forearms, give your wrists a little bit of a break, your hands a little bit of a break. Just do a little bit of tapping, opening and closing, and then coming back up. We're gonna take a full twist. So I'll show you at first. Some of you already know this, and you can go ahead and take your thread. But for those of you who haven't done it before, you can take that elbow open up here and continue to keep going, maybe reaching the elbow over to the inside of the right arm. Or other option is to take the elbow up, maybe even the hand all the way up, and then you're going to thread underneath. Inhale up, and I tend to just do it this way, and then up, and then we're all going to thread underneath wherever you are. Keep coming down onto that forearm, keep sliding, sliding. And then walking your fingers, tenting the fingers, coming into your twist. So I'm going to come this way as well so you can see. Sliding underneath. I have my back of my arm, the back of my palm. I'm coming down on the side of my head, not my cheek, side of my head and my shoulder. Okay? You can widen the knees a little bit if you'd like. Try not to tuck the chin. Lift the chin a little bit away from the chest and hang out here. Too much on the shoulder, too much on the head. Shift the weight back to make sure you're not shifting all of the weight forward onto the shoulder and onto the neck. If you're not comfortable with doing that and have not done that before, then just practice the sliding in and out. You're still getting that nice rotation. Breathe. Inhale, exhale. Hi, Terry. Good, one more nice deep breath in. Check and make sure your weight isn't always all forward. And then exhale, and then inhale, rise that arm back up, unthread. Good, come back to the center. Come back to your neutral table, and then just bump the hips one way or the other. If your wrists are bothering you, you can come to your fists and maybe shake your head out. And then we'll try it on the other side. Another option, I see my blanket here, another option is that you can put your blanket here when you thread underneath, and then you can slide so that you have something to rest your head on. So that's again like bringing the earth up to you. You want to try. And then we'll thread to the other side. So start to bring up I think it would be the left arm, or your opposite. Seems so long ago already. Good. And if you want to try the arm, stretch to the elbow. Take a quick couple times with your fingertips to the elbow. I think this is a nice way to get a little rotation first. Good. And then make sure you press away from the ground so that you're not pushing into that wrist. Then open up and then take your thread. Do it on this side again so you can see I'm sliding my hand and then I'm resting the side of the head and the shoulder. Tent the fingers of the opposite hand and keep your elbow up. And again, just move into a little rotation here. If it's too much of a twist for you this morning, that's fine. Just take the rotation here and then maybe even take your child's pose and hang out there and breathe. Give yourself a break. Give yourself what your body needs. Take a nice deep breath in the twist. Exhale out. Inhale. Exhale. And then you can slowly reach that arm up or elbow up, coming out nice and slow. Good. And then we're all going to slide down onto your belly from here. So just come to your forearms, bring yourself down. Bring your hands in front so that you have one palm on top of the other and just relax your forehead there. And then maybe just let your hips kind of sway back and forth. Maybe roll your forehead back and forth. Just releasing the back of the neck, any tension, and then reconnecting with your breath. So that can be kind of an energetic pose, even though it seems like it should be relaxing to thread the needle. So especially if you haven't done it before, there's a lot going on in it. So just give yourself some time here. Let's just say 3 or 4 more breaths. Checking in. Good. All right. And then you can stack your fists here to come up a little bit higher if you would like. Or you can turn your head and relax on, let's say, your left cheek and bring your hands to the side for a neck stretch. Just be really careful and mindful. You can also bring your hands back up, bending at the elbows if that feels more comfortable. If you have your fists on top of fists, then you're going to, again, shimmy a little bit here, open up the knees, bend, and just let the knees sway a little side to side. Reach the heels maybe back towards glutes, flopping them around a little bit, and then let the legs go long. All right, then we're all going to keep the hands here. You can rest the forehead down again. The feet are coming wide towards the outer edges of the mat. You're going to curl your toes, and you're just going to lift that leg and imagine pressing a little into that heel, and then relax that foot. Other side, curl the toes, lift, try not to lock up your knee. Be careful, don't lock the knee, just press into the heel, but you'll feel maybe your legs slide, thighs slide back a little bit. Keep the head down. Back and forth one more time. So if the crown of the head is going forward and you're pressing into your heel, the idea is that you're lengthening this place right here, like around your SI joint, your lower back, where I'm imagining that you've been sitting a lot, and so it should be a helpful thing for you. Slide the hands now down to the sides, bring the feet about hip width apart this time. Keep the head down, just reach through the fingers, maybe lifting the arms. And then if you'd like, you can lift the legs, pointing the toes. Lift your chin slightly like there's a tennis ball under there, and you just push the tennis ball in front of you. Don't look up, only forward or preferably down. Feel length through your lower back. And then exhale and come down nice and slow. If you did the neck stretch, turn for a moment on the opposite cheek so you can stretch out your neck the other way. If you didn't do the neck stretch, then feel free to slowly make your way onto your back. But take your time in the neck stretch. If you're there, don't worry. And then coming over onto your back, let yourself be long here for a moment. Take a breath in through the nose, let it out through the mouth. You made it. You're back to your backs. Bring your knees in and take a little moving bridge pose forward. You can take legs up the wall, and there's two ways of doing that. You can use a block if you have a block, sliding it underneath and making sure that your pelvis and your lower back is supported. So if you've done this before and you do have a block, then remember to keep your sacrum right here on top of the block and supported. Otherwise, you can use your hands, bring them together here, resting on the fleshy part, right? So you don't want to be on your fingers or on your wrists. There's this little fleshy part once you're underneath. Bend the elbows so that you can get the palms just right there at the low back, and then you can bend the knees and just let the feet float up. Right. You can take them straighter if you'd like. So you can play around with that. Otherwise, we'll take moving bridge. So I have a lot of options there. Take the hands to the sides, a little lift of the chin away. Feet are about hip width apart. Connect the feet first and then just lift up the thighs, feeling the quads shining up towards maybe the ceiling and then lowering down. Relax the head, come back to the center. Palms are down, just moving up and down. Don't worry about going all the way into your biggest expression unless that feels comfortable for you. Feel free to do it. Nice. And then we're all going to meet back down. We're going to draw the knees in wide towards the outer edges of the body. Rock the head a little side to side. Just staying here, or if you're familiar with happy baby pose, you can take happy baby pose and rock side to side, but the feet would go up towards the ceiling. And then just take a couple more breaths wherever you are, and eventually making your way down onto the mat. Make the legs long and we're going to move into Shavasana, our final resting pose, the creme de la creme of yoga. Really taking the time to do this integrates all the hard work that you've done, which can be as simple as being aware of your breath and showing up today. So take your time for your Shavasana. If you'd like to use the bolster underneath your knees, like we did in the beginning, feel free to do that, or cover up if you need, if you're chilly. Anything that will support you and help you relax. If the more comfortable you are, the more relaxed you can be. And I will guide you through the Shavasana, and then feel free to stay in your Shavasana. Just shut your computer off and stay there a little longer if you'd like. It's about 10:25, and I will end maybe at 10:35, so we have 10 more minutes. So feel free to stay as long as you want, or leave when you need to. So once you're there, if you haven't already, close your eyes. Just notice some softness in your face, and if you don't feel the softness in your face, then open up the jaw, open up the mouth and move the jaw around to let go of any clenching or tension. Maybe, especially if you're new to yoga or haven't been in a while, it's hard to take it all in. With your arms to the sides, some space in between the body and the arms so that the breath has enough room to move throughout the body and expanding through the side body. Palms are soft. Feel the back of your head, just notice that heaviness, maybe with just gravity. The back of the neck, soft. The shoulders being able to rest. upper back and the shoulder blades. Softening all the way down the sides of the spine into the lower back. Letting go of the back of the hips, back of the thighs, down through the calf, and the back of the ankle, back of the heel. And letting go again in the cheeks, softening through the throat. Just a nice soft rise and fall of the chest with the breath. Softening through the rib cage, the belly is soft. Just that wave of the breath. Maybe rising and falling of the belly. Pelvis is relaxed, front of the thighs. Kneecaps soft. Down through the shins. Feet, tops of the feet are just falling out naturally. Toes are off duty. Letting go, I whisper, it's okay to release. Letting go, my body says thank you back to me. Letting go, my mind settles, finding a silence so sweet. Letting go, I feel my body welcoming in peace. This feeling of centeredness, grounded, and ease becomes available anytime I'm willing to let go and welcome release. Slowly start to bring your awareness back into the room. Just some gentle movements. Maybe rocking the head a little side to side, wiggling the toes or the fingers. Taking an inhale, slowly reaching the arms up over the top of the head. Give yourself a little stretch. And then drawing the knees in towards the chest. Rolling over onto one side. Take your time, no rush. Just stay there for a moment, and then either putting one hand, your left hand on your heart, and your right hand on top, or not. It's up to you. And again, just reflecting on something you're grateful for at this very moment. And when you're ready, coming up to a comfortable seat. And then we'll all rise with the arms up over the top of the head. Take a nice big inhalation. Exhale as your palms come together. You can bring them down to the heart. Thumbs to the sternum. Relax the shoulders. And I'm going to unmute you all. So if you want to join me in an Om, feel free to. Otherwise, just listen. We're going to inhale through the nose first. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale to Om. Thank you so much.